This morning, President Trump is calling on Republicans to change the rules in the Senate to reopen the government. Trump posting overnight, it is now time for the Republicans to play their Trump card and go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. The move would allow Republicans to pass a bill to fund the government with a simple majority instead of the 60 votes currently needed. But Senate majority...
Hold on, what the hell is a filibuster? What is a filibuster? A filibuster is a legislative tactic used in the United States Senate to delay or block a vote on a bill, motion, or other matter. It is often used by the minority party to obstruct action, and while it historically involved lengthy speeches, it now typically involves a more informal threat to debate. To overcome a filibuster on most legislation, 60 votes are required to invoke cloture and end debate. Okay. How it works: the goal to prevent a vote on a piece of legislation or other measure. Historical versus modern use: in the past, a single senator could delay a bill indefinitely by making long speeches on a Senate floor, as famously depicted in the movie Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Today, a senator can simply announce they will filibuster, and a minority can effectively block a bill without extensive speeches as long as they have enough support to sustain the filibuster. The cloture vote: to end the filibuster, a motion for cloture. What the hell is this cloture? What is cloture?
Cloture.
In legislative assembly, a procedure for ending a debate and taking a vote. A cloture must be filled. It currently takes 60 votes, 3/5 of the Senate, to invoke cloture and move to a final vote on most legislation. Final vote: if a cloture is invoked, the bill can then be passed by a simple majority of those present and voting. Presidential appointments: a 51 vote threshold currently applies to most nominations for executive branch positions and federal judgeships, including Supreme Court nominees. I don't know what the hell so I guess they use it as some way of not voting on something.
Majority Leader John Thune has warned against this move, saying it could come back to bite Republicans whenever Democrats take power back. Meanwhile, millions of Americans fear their food assistance or SNAP benefits will run out tomorrow as the government shutdown drags on.
I've gone to social media to ask for help from everyone that I could possibly think of.
It now appears a federal judge hearing a...
You went to social media and asked for help? Oh my gosh. That was a waste of time. I can't believe somebody would do that, man. You gotta be a fool. You gotta be a fool to do some crap like that, man. Your SNAP benefits are running out and you go, what did you go on, Snapchat? Foolish.
Lawsuit over emergency funding may step in. Judge Indira Talwani saying right now Congress has put money in an emergency fund for an emergency, and it's hard for me to understand how this isn't an emergency. Republicans argue it's not that easy.
If they transfer funds from these other sources, it pulls it away immediately from school meals and infant formula.
The judge did...
School meals and infant formula. Damn. I didn't even think about that, man. That's why the Lord gave you women breasts, man. So you're gonna have to pull your teat out, and so your baby can eat.
Dismissing the administration's explanation, saying, I want agency action, not lawyering. We're not going to make everyone drop dead. The judge could compel the administration to release the funds, but whether the Trump administration will comply remains to be seen. And even if it does, the emergency funding available would still fall short of the monthly SNAP payouts. Back on Capitol.
I don't think he's trying to. Like I said, man, Ukraine wants. I want to see how much money Ukraine just asked for. How much money did Volodymyr Zelensky ask for recently? How long? 9 months ago? No, man, it was something else I was reading. I forgot who I was listening to, but he was basically saying he asking for more money, and they ain't doing too good over there, so he needs more money. And no wonder why the government isn't opening up, because they're probably going to give him that money.
Capitol Hill, Democrats digging in, refusing to open the government until Republicans agreed.
Health insurance premiums set to skyrocket. I gotta find that. Because that's gonna be the next big issue. Health insurance premiums skyrocketing. News. Yes, health insurance premiums are skyrocketing, driven by rising healthcare costs, and critically for 2026, the expiration of enhanced subsidies for the Affordable Care Act marketplace. For 2026, the ACA marketplace average premium increase is an estimated 26%, and for many, the cost of their plan will at least double without the enhanced tax credits, reports KFF. Let me find a video on this. This is ridiculous. 3 days ago. Democracy Now! Expert explains surging health insurance premiums. CBS Evening News. Let's see this.
We don't want to see homeowners falling through their floors.
Certainly not.
So as the symptom goes,
as the government shutdown extends into its 29th day, Americans who depend on coverage through the Affordable Care Act are getting their first look at the health care sticker shock. Access to the new ACA premiums were released on Tuesday. According to the health policy group KFF, the average cost is jumping 26%. And without the government subsidies, the out-of-pocket costs will go up even more. For tonight's interview,
without the government subsidies, man, your health care, you're screwed. You got to go in there for something, man. Oh, man, we need to pray to the Lord. I feel that, man. 26% on the premium. The healthcare is already unaffordable. You take an ambulance to the, God forbid you get shot, man, and you have to get into an ambulance to go get help. The ambulance itself is probably, I'm going to see if I can Google it. How much is an ambulance ride in Boston to the hospital? Emergency. An ambulance ride in Boston can cost hundreds to thousands of dollars, with an average cost around $1,000 to $1,300 for a medically necessary trip. This varies greatly depending on the level of care, your insurance, and if the ambulance is in network. Massachusetts has some of the highest out-of-pocket costs for ambulance rides, with the median cost for municipally owned ambulances potentially exceeding $2,000 due to out-of-network charges. I thought it was more than that. I thought it was like, imagine getting a hospital ride. That shit's like $2,500. I mean, this is probably maybe out of the pocket, but I think when it charges your insurance company, it's not that. They charge them like, because they do stuff to you while you're in there. Oh, we had to give him this, and we had to check his blood pressure, and we had to do this, that, and the third. You know, they run it up on them. Oh, we had to give them fentanyl. We had to give them this. They trying to run that bill up when you get in there. Now you're going to be taking that all out the pocket. That's crazy. You get into one little, you break your leg. You're going to be like, yo, just call an Uber. Just call me an Uber. You be there with a broken leg. You can't even feel you. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be insane, man. Insane.
Joined now by Larry Levitt, KFF's Executive Vice President for Health Policy. Mr. Levitt, thanks for joining us. So let's start with this. How much more could people have to pay if these credits are not extended?
Yeah, so if these enhanced tax credits are not extended, ACA enrollees will see their premiums increase by an average of 114%. So for viewers who haven't been in math class in a while, that means premiums are going to more than double in terms of what people pay. And that'll be an increase of over $1,000 a year on average.
Why are insurers charging so much more for health care this year? Is this the norm? Is this out of the norm?
So the amount that insurers are charging is outside of the norm. It's higher than it's been in recent years. As you said, the average increase in what insurers are charging is 26%, and that's been the biggest increase in recent years. So it's a number of factors. One is just the cost of healthcare is going up. The hospital prices are going up, like the prices of so many things. GLP-1 drugs for weight loss, many more people are using them. That's increasing costs. New drugs are coming on the market. So that's kind of increasing healthcare costs across the board. But there's one thing in particular that's happening in the Affordable Care Act marketplace, which is if these enhanced tax credits expire, millions of people are expected to drop their coverage. And most likely the people who drop...
Trying to digest this. So they increase the premium, you can't pay for it, so you ain't gonna have health insurance, is what he's saying.
Their coverage will be people who are healthier than average. So that will leave a sicker pool of people for insurers to cover, and that's driving premiums up.
That's kind of a worst case scenario. What if the tax credits are extended? Will things still change?
So if the tax credits are extended, what people will pay out of their own pockets will stay largely the same. The premiums are based on your income. So the lower your income, the less you pay. The higher your income, the more you pay. And if those enhanced tax credits are extended, that will remain in place. Now, of course, that will cost the government more, over $30 billion more per year, but it'll save people a lot. And as I said, if those enhanced tax credits are not extended, people's premiums will end up doubling on average.
How many people are we talking about? If the costs go up, if they get higher, how many people across the country?
So 24 million people across the country who get their insurance through these ACA marketplaces. These are people who are not covered by Medicare, not covered by Medicaid, don't have insurance through their employer. 22 million of those 24 million get these tax credits that help them pay their premiums. So 22 million people would be hit with these out-of-pocket premium increases. You know, it's a minority of the public, but it's people who are particularly vulnerable. These are many of them are small business owners or work for small businesses. That's about half of them. Small businesses typically don't provide health benefits to their workers. It's also, gig workers, Uber drivers, DoorDash deliverers, farmers and ranchers rely on this coverage in particular because they're not working for an employer.
Could people end up losing all of their health care as a result of all of this?
They certainly could. I mean, the Congressional Budget Office, which is kind of the budget referee in Congress, estimates that nearly 4 million people would end up uninsured if these enhanced tax credits aren't extended. So those are people who will have no health insurance whatsoever. Now, they may be healthier than average, but things happen to them. They get sick, they get in an accident, they end up in the emergency room, and that will have ripple effects throughout the healthcare system.
Okay, real quick here. One more thing here, sir. Why would healthier people just drop out of that marketplace?
Yeah, I mean, if you're sick and you have substantial medical bills, you're going to find a way to pay that premium. You'll cut back on other things. You'll put bills on your credit card. You'll dip into savings. You'll figure out a way to keep that health insurance. If you're currently healthy, you're more likely to roll the dice. You're going to make sure you pay your rent, your food bills, your utility bills, and health insurance may be kind of lower on your priority list.
Especially if you're younger. All right, Larry Levitt from KFF. Thank you so much for the insight.
It's the devil. So he pretty much coming after your medical. That's gonna be the next thing they're gonna be talking about soon. They're gonna be crying about that, shutting down the government for that probably. Or that's probably gonna extend it. Well, we said, for the SNAP benefits, but now since you ain't gonna allow this, I can just imagine. Let me grab this in the book of Job 13, in verse 4. But I start at the top. Job 13:1. Lo, my eyes have seen all this, my ear have heard and understood it. What ye know, the same do I know. Also, I am not inferior unto you. Let's see what Job says his friends' proverbs are ashes. Let me see what he's talking about in Job the 13th chapter. Summarize Job chapter 13. Of course, I didn't get what I was saying. Summarize Job chapter 13. All right. Job's tells his friends that he understands everything they are saying. He is not inferior to them in knowledge. He criticizes them for being forgers of lies and physicians of no value, meaning their counsel is false and useless. Job warns them that speaking deceitfully for God or trying to defend him with lies is dangerous, for God will surely rebuke them. All right. Job 13:1. Lo, my eyes have seen all this, my ear have heard and understood it. What ye know, the same do I know also. I am not inferior unto you. Surely I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to reason with God. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. And Esau is exactly that. He's a physician of no value. And now he's trying to take away whatever. He ain't going to be able to help you, man. Like, you fully got to rely on the Lord that he can protect you, man. Because if you got to go to him for anything, even if you do have the means to get in there and get some attention, it's still of no value. Okay? It needs to be destroyed. So don't be surprised about these things. Oh, that ye would altogether hold your peace, and it should be your wisdom. Let me see what this Job 13:5. Means that Job, frustrated by his friends' unhelpful and false advice, wishes they would be silent because their words are causing more harm than good. And that's Esau for you. Their words are causing more harm than good, man. So let me finish what this is talking about.
To extend Obamacare subsidies to prevent healthcare insurance premiums from skyrocketing next year. A Utah woman we spoke to says even with the subsidies, her premium next year will rise from $495 to $753. And without the subsidies, it will more than quadruple to more than $2,100.
Imagine paying an extra $450 a month. See, in other states, even like Oklahoma, you paying out the pocket for health insurance. All right, and you need that. That's insane.
We can't afford to double what it costs for us to live just to have health insurance.
Republicans argue the Affordable Care Act, which set up Obamacare, was a bad law that drives up premiums and strains doctors. President Trump last night posting, quote, Obamacare is a disaster. Rates are going through the roof for really bad health care. Do something, Democrats. Stacey Conk says right now a flawed plan is better than no plan. Meanwhile, as more government workers go without paychecks, more of them are turning to food banks.
Honestly, this has been devastating.
Wayne Barber says he's been an air traffic controller for 23 years.
I'm still going to show up to work because that's what I swore an oath to do.
But many air traffic controllers no longer getting paid are calling out sick, causing staff shortages and delays at major airports. At Orlando's airport yesterday, a warning that at one point there would be no certified air traffic controllers to land planes, forcing a ground delay.
A shortage of air traffic controllers was already a big problem before the government shutdown. Now authorities warn if the shutdown drags on, especially through the Thanksgiving travel period, it'll be a disaster.
Yeah, because why do you think that? First of all, they're supposed to get paid at the end of the day. They shouldn't be coming to work and working for free. The hell out of here. Shut down the damn planes. Deuteronomy 24, verse 14, thou shalt not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or of thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. At his day thou shalt give him his hire. Neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor, and setteth his heart upon it, lest he cry against thee unto the Lord, and it be sin unto thee. Okay, let's get this in the NLT. All right, so you're supposed to pay them at the end of the day. So this is another reason why, another law that Esau breaks, claiming to be righteous. You're far from it, Esau. Deuteronomy 24 and 14 in the NLT. Never take advantage of poor and destitute laborers, whether they are fellow Israelites or foreigners living in your towns. You claim to be Israelites, right? You must pay them their wages each day before sunset because they are poor and are counting on it. If you don't, they might cry out to the Lord against you, and it would be counted against you as sin. All right, and it is going to be counted against you. He's the man of sin. Leviticus 19:13. Do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not make your hired workers wait until the next day to receive their pay. So these are laws you're supposed to uphold. He don't uphold these laws. He breaks every single one of them. Proverbs 3:27. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it is in your power to help them. It's your power to help them. You had $20 billion to give to Argentina over beef, but what about the people? This is why you got to fix what's going on here. You didn't want to pay the farmers. They're also complaining. They're crying. You didn't want to help pay. They're calling out sick. All right? And they're probably Ubering around to try to put some food on the table. Proverbs 3:28. If you can help your neighbor now, don't say, come back tomorrow and then I'll help you. And that's what I'll pay you back on the back end. You know, when everything gets right. It's 31 days later. They probably miss at least 2 paychecks if he's doing it bi-weekly. Jeremiah 22:13 in the NLT. And the Lord says, what sorrow awaits Jehoiakim, who builds his palace with forced labor. He builds injustice into its walls, for he makes his neighbors work for nothing. He does not pay them for their labor. And you like Jehoiakim. You ain't paying them for their labor. And that's why these planes, there was supposedly 2 airplanes about to crash into each other at Boston Logan Airport today. You know, good thing somebody was on the job to tell the other plane to stay up in the sky, but it was already descending, about to land, and there was another plane coming, about to crash into each other. Matthew 20:8. That evening, he told the foreman to call the workers in and pay them, beginning with the last workers first. Yeah, that evening. And then when you read the parable, he was paying them at the end of the day. So why aren't you implementing these laws? Since you righteous, this is what you Puritans, you pilgrims came over here and implemented these laws, right? It's false, okay? They were wicked where they were. They were wicked when they came over here. Mark 10:19. But to answer your question, you know the commandments. You must not murder. You must not commit adultery. You must not steal. You must not testify falsely. You must not cheat anyone. Honor your father and mother. That's right. And you cheating everybody. Okay? He's getting free labor out of you. James 5:4 in the NLT. For listen, hear the cries of the field workers whom ye have cheated of their pay. The wages you held back cry out against you. The cries of those who harvest your fields have reached the ears of the Lord of heaven's armies. And when he hears it, judgment's coming. Judgment follows after you do all the suppression. Meanwhile, you over here in the streets riding around in a cloud like... He got bread in his hand. He's saying, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, man. Oh, man. Crazy. Foolishness, man. That's Esau for you. I want to see this. It says tens of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews protest military draft in Jerusalem, and that's coming here to America too.
As you can see behind me, I'm standing here in front of a large crowd of ultra-Orthodox Jews here in central Jerusalem. They are among tens of thousands of people who are protesting against attempts by the Israeli government to enlist them, to draft them into the Israeli military. Military service is required. It's mandatory for most Jews in Israel. However, under a long-standing system, religious men are exempt from this requirement. This system is very controversial among the broader public. It has become even more so during these past 2 years of war against Hamas. Now the protest.
Yeah, so they shouldn't have to fight. They shouldn't have to fight. He gonna break all them laws. He gonna make you fight. He gonna make you fight over here too. Regulations concerning war. Deuteronomy 20:1. I'm gonna read it in the NLT. When you go out to fight your enemies and you face horses and chariots and an army greater than your own, do not be afraid. The Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, is with you. When you prepare for battle, the priest must come forward to speak to the troops. He will say to them, listen to me, all you men of Israel. Do not be afraid as you go out to fight your enemies today. Do not lose heart or panic or tremble before them. For the Lord your God is going with you. He will fight for you against your enemies, and he will give you the victory. So you got to trust in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, because ultimately he's the one fighting. Then the officers of the army must address the troops and say, has anyone here just built a new house but not yet dedicated it? If so, you may go home. You might be killed in the battle and someone else who would dedicate your house. Has anyone here just planted a vineyard but not yet eaten of any of its fruit? If so, you may go home. You might die in battle and someone else would eat the first fruit. Has anyone here just become engaged to a woman but not yet married her? Well, you may go home and get married. You might die in the battle and someone else would marry her. Then the officers will also say, is anyone here afraid or worried? If you are, you may go home before you frighten anyone else. And this is a whole community of ultra-Orthodox Jews. Okay, they don't want to fight in accordance to his law. They're saying that they shouldn't even have to go to war because they're religious, for religious purposes. Deuteronomy 20:9. When the officers have finished speaking to their troops, they will appoint the unit commanders. As you approach a town to attack it, you must first offer its people terms for peace. If they accept your terms and open the gates to you, then all the people inside will serve you in forced labor. But if they refuse to make peace and prepare to fight, you must attack the town. When the Lord your God hands the town over to you, use your swords to kill every man in the town. But you may keep for yourselves all the women, children, livestock, and other plunder. You may enjoy the plunder from your enemies that the Lord your God has given you. So the Lord even tell you, hey man, he'll give it to you. You better kill every man in the town, man. All right, so the law is no joke. This is his law. But these instructions apply only to distant towns, not to the towns of the nations in the land you will enter. In those towns that the Lord your God is giving you as a special possession, destroy every living thing. You must completely destroy the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, just as the Lord your God has commanded you. This will prevent the people of the land from teaching you to imitate their detestable customs in the worship of their gods, which would cause you to sin deeply against the Lord your God. When you are attacking a town and the war drags on, you must not cut down the trees with your axes. You may eat the fruit, but do not cut down the trees. Are the trees your enemies that you should attack them? You may only cut down trees that you know are not valuable for food. Use them to make the equipment you need to attack the enemy town until it falls. So even with the trees, man. Regulations concerning war, but Esau don't follow any of these regulations. He'll chop the whole damn country down just so he can, for no reason. He'll just do it just because he's wicked.
Has gotten larger and larger throughout the day. Tens of thousands, perhaps even hundreds of thousands are participating. It's quite lively. This situation has caused complications for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The Israeli Supreme Court has ordered him to halt this system of exemptions. However, he is dependent on ultra-Orthodox, powerful ultra-Orthodox parties to keep his coalition intact. If he moves too forward in ending this system, he risks seeing his government, his coalition fall apart.
Sounds like you're going to have a lot of battles in that land over there. A lot of battles. Let me share this. Let me share this. It tells you in Joel 2 and I think 20. Joel 2 and 20 in the NLT. I will drive away these armies from the north. I will send them into the parched wastelands. Those in front will be driven into the Dead Sea, and those at the rear into the Mediterranean. The stretch of their rotting bodies will rise over the land. Surely the Lord has done great things. No. They're going off on the NLT. That's why I just read it out the KJV. Joel 2 and 20, but I will remove far from you the northern army, which is the American army. Okay, and it also is talking about a draft, man. You're gonna be removed. Let's look at this word, remove. I will remove far off. To be or become far, be or become distant, be removed. To send far away, extend. To make or exhibit distance, or gone far, to remove. To thrust away, to repel. To go away far, to thrust away. Job 30 and 20 it says, let me see, no, Job 30 and 10. Let's see what it says. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face. Whatever. Yeah, that's the Lord sending the northern army. A lot of people are gonna get caught up in that, especially with all this debt. You're going to need food. You're going to need health insurance. The Army's looking like a good occupation right now. You're going to need a job. Esau's setting you up, man, for Joel 2 and 20. And also, which ties into the rest of the prophecies or when Yahweh Shah's coming. You're going to end up fighting against the Lord ultimately. What is this? Jetson 1 personal air vehicle. Yup. Ice grilling your ass. I thought Xi Jinping was the boss, man. You scared of Esau in the eye, man. Okay, I see you, Duck. Duck ain't fucking around, man. Looking at Moab dead in his face. Moab's looking at his stupid fucking iPad. Pick your head up. I see the so-called white man looking at you, man. Scared to death. Moab's a damn clown. Scary ass. Scary ass. flooding. All that nasty ass water, man. You don't want to be in that shit, man.
Gonna come through now.
This stupid ass try to drive through it.
Yeah, and you got an old person on there. Why you risking them?
This shit happening like all the time now. I think 2 people died too. I think 2 people died. Someone died trying to pump the water out and got electrocuted. It was windy as hell today. I don't know. It was windy as hell today, man. Oh, it was King Charles, who was his older brother I thought it was the younger brother. Nope, King Charles demoted his ass. King Charles is older than him. I don't know what that video is.
Like this? Its interior glows with a reddish-orange hue, so shiny that it can almost be used as a mirror. In fact, this is a type of copper ore, one of the richest kinds, known as native copper or natural copper. As we all know, copper is quite expensive. One reason is that the Earth's copper reserves are relatively limited. Another reason is that most copper in nature exists in compound form. It's extremely rare to find copper ore that's nearly 100% pure. This glossy piece of native copper contains...
Man, that shit look like gold, man. That's beautiful. I've never seen real copper, man. That is gorgeous.
More than 90% copper, which makes it exceptionally rare. That's why copper is considered a valuable and costly metal. In the scrap metal industry, there's even a saying, a hero's background doesn't matter, but copper's origin always does. It means copper is so valuable that you must know where it comes from before buying it. Also, copper oxidizes very easily, and when it does, it often turns green. That's why ancient bronze artifacts and many copper ores have that distinctive green surface color.
So beautiful. That is so beautiful. Copper. KJV. Also 20 basins of gold of 1,000 drams and 2 vessels of fine copper, precious as gold. What's this talking about? Describes the sacred treasures that Ezra and his people brought back from exile. 20 gold basins, each weighing 1,000 drams, approximately 19 pounds, and 2 precious vessels of fine polished bronze. This verse is part of the larger account in Ezra 8, where the returned exiles are carefully accounting for all the gifts they received from the king and contributed themselves for the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. Isaiah chapter 60. And Isaiah 60 and 17. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood, brass, and for stones, iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thy exactors righteousness. Look this up. Isaiah 60 and 17 signifies God's promise of a glorious transformation, replacing the common and temporary with the precious and lasting. This transformation involves the exchange of lesser materials like bronze for gold and iron for silver, and it extends to leadership where peace and righteousness will govern instead of oppression. The verse symbolizes God's abundant restoration, not just materially, but spiritually establishing a new era of justice, peace, and prosperity of his people. I mean, the Lord's about to give us it all, man. For brass, I will bring gold. So we're going to have a lot of gold. And for iron, I will bring silver. And for wood, brass. And for stones, iron. So we're going to have so much, man. It don't even make any sense. And that's just natural. That's just natural. Natural copper looks so beautiful, man. It looks like gold. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. Beautiful, man. No fighting. Unlike this kingdom, as a matter of fact, there was a bunch of high school students fighting each other. It ain't saying what those high school students. High school students fight the National Guard. National Guard and high school students fight. It literally happened today. So I don't know. Yeah, this is the girl that died. I gotta watch this.
Tonight, 24 hours after that announcement from Buckingham Palace, Prince Andrew soon no longer a prince. Tonight, the family of Virginia Giuffre now hoping King Charles will urge the U.S. government to release the Epstein files. Here's our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, tonight.
And if Prince Andrew was on that list, I have a feeling they're gonna release Duck. Duck's on the list, but someone's gonna speak up against Duck. Before this is all said and done, the Lord gonna reveal so much, man. Let's think of precept.
Tonight, 24 hours after King Charles stripped his brother Andrew of all his royal titles, the family of Andrew's accuser, Virginia Giuffre, is pushing for more.
He needs to be fully investigated and brought to some sort of account. We need the king. We really do. We need him to put pressure on our own government here in the United States to release the Epstein files.
For years.
I agree. I think that's a really good idea. I think you're right. It's about time we find out who is who and what they've been up to. And it's crazy that the Lord had a list so he's keeping track of you, Esau. Because you was a young, beautiful girl and you just had to take it. Had to take it, man.
Giuffre claimed Jeffrey Epstein trafficked her for sex with Andrew when she was a teenager.
He knows exactly what he's done.
Andrew has long denied it, but Giuffre's family says the king's historic decision is vindication.
It was joy, but it was, sorrow, because she should be here in this victory, in this moment. It was everything that she was fighting for.
Andrew will soon have to move from his 30-bedroom mansion to Sandringham, the king's private estate north of London. Ex-wife Sarah Ferguson will no longer live with him. But even with his exile, the crown may not be able to escape the taint of Andrew's association with Epstein.
If more information does come out about Andrew's links with Epstein that is damaging, that's still going to reflect just as badly on the royal family, despite the fact that he no longer has titles.
You heard, David, how Virginia Giuffre's family is hoping King Charles can convince President Trump to release the Epstein files. There is a new Democratic congresswoman from Arizona waiting to be sworn in. It would be the final signature needed to force a vote on the release of those records. House Speaker Mike Johnson is holding up swearing her in, blaming the government shutdown. David?
Aaron Katersky on the Epstein case again tonight. Thank you.
That's right. That's the precept of Luke 4, book of Luke, chapter 8. And parable of the lamp. I'm going to start at 16. No man, when he have lighted a candle, covereth it with a vessel, or putteth it under a bed, but setteth it on a candlestick, that they might which enter in may see the light. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. So the Lord's revealing everything. Take heed therefore how ye hear, for whosoever have, to him shall be given, and whosoever have not, from him shall be taken even that which he seemeth to have. Okay, so long story short, this light is exposing his ass, man. Okay, it's not just, it is the scriptures first and foremost, but it's also his wickedness just being revealed. But it starts with this truth. It starts with this truth. He's being revealed of being the man of sin in 2 Thessalonians. Okay, all these things that are going on, the Lord is revealing it. The man of lawlessness, the one who breaks all the laws, statutes, and commandments, and teach everybody not to do it, and everyone agrees. That's who's doing that. That's Esau. That y'all love so much, and that's good y'all love him, because guess what? You are your father the devil, and the lust of your father you would do. 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, that's the so-called white man Esau, Edom, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, because he thinks he's the Most High. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now you know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. And he's being revealed today. And that's why his titles are being removed, because the Lord's exposing them. And now other people want to get deeper and deeper and deeper. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Yeah, he's already doing the work, being the devil. Back then during the Roman Empire. And that devil's still out here doing the same wickedness. Ain't nobody calling him out, except the true men of the Lord, that the Lord put the spirit on, ultimately the apostles and elders on down at the Great Millstone. And not just Great Millstone. Okay, he being revealed, all West camps are revealing him as being the devil. Okay. But these churches and everyone else, they're not doing that. Okay, so y'all don't know who the devil is. So even the lowest hanging fruit of the Israelite community is much wiser than all of y'all. Y'all don't have no clue who the man of sin is. And it's right in front of your face. Every single day the Lord's exposing them, and you want to ignore it. Because you're the devil. You're an antichrist. That's why you can't receive this truth. Okay, and know ye, and it says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And the Lord's letting him do what he's doing. And then shall that wicked be revealed. And he's being revealed as the Edomites, Esau, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and that's the prophecies, matching them up with the scriptures. Ultimately, the spirit of his mouth is talking about his prophets, but this word, with this word, exposing them, and it shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And when the Lord comes, that's the manifestation of his fall, his destruction. That's when he really gonna be revealed as being the devil, because he gonna get the judgment. Even him who's coming is after the working of Satan. Okay, that's Esau. He's after the working of Satan. That's why we say he's the spiritual manifestation. No, he's the physical manifestation of the spiritual demon Satan, because he does the work of Satan on the left-hand side with all power and signs and lying wonders. Okay, that's all he got. MOTB, so great. He'll tell you it's great, his jab shots. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, that's how he deceives you. Because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And that's why you're going to die. You receive not the love of the truth. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. And that's why you're going to be destroyed. You're going to believe that the MOTB's for your benefit. No, it's for your destruction. It tells you in Revelation 16:2 that those who worship the image of the beast was going to receive for worshiping a system that this devil put in place. You're already crying over SNAP benefits. Well, guess what? It snapped today as we're speaking. Your SNAP benefits snapped during this an hour and 38 minutes ago, man. All right, this is SNAP benefits day. It's a holiday. Lord snap. He gonna break the staff of bread. It's gonna get worse than that. Ain't gonna be no food either. It's gonna get worse than that. Revelation 16:2. I saw it at the top, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. And that's what y'all gonna do. You're gonna worship his image because you receive and you believe not the truth. But we are bound to give thanks always to God for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because God have from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth. So we're sanctified with the Spirit. That's why we believe this truth, because we were chosen. Lord's will be a part of that number. Okay, the elect were chosen from the beginning. Okay, they were ordained to receive this truth in this time. Whereunto he called you by our gospel to the obtaining of the glory of our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Yeah, he called you by the gospel. Okay, that's how you were called. That's the Lord knocking, like he tells you in Revelation 3:20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. Okay, let's go to cross references. Of course, they don't give me the precept I'm looking for. What precept am I looking for? I think it's Isaiah. I can't remember. When he says, your teacher shall not be removed in a corner anymore. Somewhere like that. Can't think of it right now. Isaiah 30:20. That's exactly what it is. Isaiah 30:20. But I'll start at 18. Isaiah 30:18. And therefore will the Lord wait, that he may be gracious unto you, and therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you, for the Lord is a God of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. thou shalt weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer thee. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left. Ye shall defile also the covering of thy graven images of silver, and the ornament of thy molten images of gold. Thou shalt cast them away as a menstruous cloth. Thou shalt not say unto it, Get thee hence. Then shall he give the rain of thy seed, that thou shalt sow the ground withal, and bread of the increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and plenteousness. In that day shall thy cattle feed in large pastures. So long story short, through your cries, he will hear it, he will answer it. Even though you're going through the curses in Deuteronomy 28th chapter, which is the water of affliction, because we've sinned against the Lord, he was going to give us the teachers. Tells you in 1 Corinthians 4, verse 9, that he gave us the apostles last. For I think, 1 Corinthians 4:9, for I think that God hath set forth us, the apostles last, as it were appointed to death, for we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. So he sent the apostles so we can learn. Those are teachers not being removed into a corner anymore. Okay, so you see your teachers. They already been here, man. Okay, they did all the work, and it's time to fill your cup up. That's all you got to do is fill your cup. It's not even, you ain't got to, they did all the laboring. They broke down everything that needs to be broken down. Okay? And all you got to do is fill your cup. But a lot of y'all, as simple as it is, ain't going to ever get the opportunity to do that because you just don't believe. So it just sucks to be you, man. Isaiah 30:20, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. That's the Yahweh Shai knocking at your door, man. Saying, This is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand and when ye turn to the left. All right. In Isaiah 30:22, if you were walking accordingly, you'll be throwing away those graven images, the cross that you wear, and all that foolishness, man. Who set all that up? Esau did. Matthew 24, in verse number 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And this is why we're getting close to the end. Okay, because this is the gospel that needed to be preached. Now you're hearing about World War III. Now you're hearing about digital IDs and digital currencies and all of this, because the word has been brought out. And now the Lord's moving. He's pushing. Therefore, brethren, 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 15, stand fast and hold the traditions which ye have been taught, whether by word or our epistle. So you gotta hold on to this word. Now our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach himself and God, even our Father, which have loved us and have given us everlasting consolation and good hope through grace, which is a gift, Ephesians 2:8. Grab it. He gave us it through grace, Ephesians 2, verse 8. I'll start at the top. And you have, he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins. Before we came to this truth, we were dead in trespasses and sins because we didn't know who we were and we were following the ways of these heathen. Okay, wherein times past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience, which are the Edomites. Prince of the power of the air is talking about Esau. Okay, ultimately it's Satan, but he's the one that is pushing his vibration down here on the earth. Okay, that's who Satan's using, the children of disobedience. It's also ultimately Esau, but then it trickles down to the rest of the heathen nations and 2/3 of our people, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh. Before we came to the truth, we had our behavior in times past in the lust of our flesh, because we didn't know we were going off, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. So we were like the children of disobedience, okay? And we're by nature the children of wrath because we were operating not according to the law, statutes, and commandments. But God, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us is possessive. Okay, he's talking about a particular people. The book of Ephesians wasn't written to the whole world. This was written to the church in Ephesus. Just like when you go in the book of Revelation, the 2nd chapter. Who is that talking about? It's talking about a people who were in the church at Ephesus. Message to Ephesus, not the whole world. Revelation 2 verse 1, unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write, these things saith he that holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. That's talking about Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay, unto the angel. The angel is a messenger, and the messenger is probably the head of the church over there in Ephesus. I know thy works and thy labor, and your patience, and how you cannot bear them which are evil, and you have tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars. Okay, so he was doing the work. He understands his labors that he was doing, calling things out, false apostles, just like the times we have today. There's only certain people doing that in this time also. Everyone else is going along to get along. Fake it till you make it. That's the way it is the world. They don't want nobody. I don't want no one to dislike me. I want everyone to like me. Well, guess what? If everyone likes you, hey, the Lord said, woe unto you. Woe means death and destruction, if you didn't know that. Woe unto you if everybody likes you. Luke 6 verse 26. Let me grab that. Am I done with that? No. I'm not done with that. Luke 6 verse 26. I gotta end this, man. I gotta end this. Luke 6 verse 26. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. So did they fathers to the false prophets. Woe to you when all men speak well of you is a warning against seeking worldly approval at the expense of truth. It signifies that universal praise is a sign of compromise, similar to how false prophets were celebrated by their followers. And it's a contrast to the rejection Yahweh Shai and his disciples face. The verse encourages prioritizing obedience to God over pleasing others, suggesting that true faithfulness may lead to criticism, not applause. Beautiful. Not applause. Oh, a round of applause? No, that's you in the wrong. You ain't supposed to be getting all applause and bullshit like that, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Verse 28, as for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. And that's what's going on now. All right. So long without fruit is finally being declared, man. The name of the Lord and everything that's pertaining unto him, his judgments, who his people are. 2nd Ezra 6 and 28 describes a future state of spiritual and moral renewal where evil and deceit will be overcome, corruption will be ended, and truth will be revealed. It suggests that faith will flourish and that the world's inhabitants will experience a profound change leading to righteousness and justice. This verse is part of an apocalyptic vision in the book of 2nd Esdras, which is not part of the canonical Bible for most traditions, but offers commentary on the future hope after a period of suffering. Okay, when we get into that point, 2nd Esdras 2, verse 17, comfort your hearts and establish you in every good work, and comfort your hearts and establish you in every good word and work. Ephesians 2 and 5, even when we were dead in sins, have quickened us together with the Mashiach. By grace are ye saved. Quicken means to be made alive through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Ephesians 2 and 6, and have raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Ephesians 2 and 7, that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace and his kindness toward us through Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, the exceeding grace and riches. Ephesians 2 and 8, for by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. So that's how we come into this truth. It's a gift. All right. So it's nothing to boast about, but we got to hold on to it. But I'm going to end it here. Lord's will, this was edifying. Shalom.